this is not the Hard Rock Show.
Not this time around, no.
As you can see, we're sitting in the garage.
Backstage.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is our pre-production area, so you're getting a unique look at the other side of us now, because this is not going to be a Hard Rock Show professionally produced thing. The audio is going to be crap on this, the video is going to be crap on this. We've just recorded it, uploaded it. It'll hold back the release of the feature episode because of production time, schedule clash and stuff, but this one's important. We want to get this little rant off our chests.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it is, just a rant.
Yeah.
It's not an episode.
No.
We're sitting here drinking and smoking. We just wanted to basically address how fucked certain things are at the moment with people not supporting the local scene.
Now this is kind of interesting timing because you just had your article on Hellraiser Music Group.
Yep.
And you talked about how the promoters seem to be getting it.
Starting to, yeah.
Yeah, and then, what is it, the same day or the next day?
The very next day.
Shit at the fan.
Yeah, Motley Crue tour is an absolute joke.
Yep.
I can't understand why Doc Neeson is opening the show.
Makes no sense.
When we've got a stack of CDs over there from bands from all over Australia that should have the opportunity to open that show, and they do a hell of a lot of a better job.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name names or anything like that. I've just got so many band names in my head that would do that tour justice.
And from a business point of view, it makes no sense because any band, I think, that's up and coming would charge the smallest fee possible in comparison to
a lot of them would probably do it for free just for the opportunity.
Tell me any band that we deal with wouldn't want to get backstage with Brett Michaels and Motley Crue and...
Motley maybe, I don't know if anybody really
apart from Donald Trump maybe.
I love Poison, but...
Yeah. Without
I
the
love
whole
Poison, I don't love Brett Michaels, you know?
Yeah.
But at this stage we're pretty much set on not going to the tour because it's just overpriced and it's not a very good package.
Well, you compare it to Soundwave Revolution and...
As I said the other day,
yeah.
We've worked it out, Soundwave Revolution is pretty much the same price. You get 60 bands, it works out to just under $3 a band.
It's ridiculous.
This Motley Crue one, it's not cool. There's just, as we said, so many good bands out there that deserve the shot, that aren't getting the shot, and something needs to change.
And these aren't just our sentiments. We've been dealing with a lot of people that have the same feeling, I guess, about it. And so I guess it's fair to say we're going to be having a few interesting conversations coming up with a lot of interesting and good people in the scene, and we're going to try and, I think our goal now is to much change things.
I hope so.
Yeah, I don't
We're only a very small entity, and I'm not sure how much of a difference we could make, but if a whole lot of us got together, we might be able to change some stuff.
This is the thing. The whole scene is fucking itself in the ass. Okay, to be blunt. Because all everyone's doing is bitching, infighting, being a bunch of tosses, when if you work together, you'll get somewhere.
Yeah.
And you don't need the record labels. You don't need the promotion companies to do all the work for you. You can do it yourselves, you can just work together. And it's just doing my head in on a day-to-day basis how that continues to this day after how many years. I mean, how long does this want to go on for before people actually wake the fuck up? And
there's going on and on about promoters. There's another promoter out there whose name we won't mention, but once I say a little bit of what I'm going to say,
people are going to know.
Pick who it is anyway, and we don't care. Last night we were at a gig.
Yes, we were.
Promoted by this mob, and
good gig.
Yeah, one of the bands that we were there to see, put us on the door, and we went in there. They were given strict orders to tell us we're not to take photos or footage of any band other than the one we were there to see. The band wasn't allowed to do a gig last week, and they're not allowed to do a gig next week. It's a stupid situation.
It makes no sense, and why anyone would sign up to that. I mean, they're trying to restrict us, and we've got nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
And based on that, we're never going to have anything to do with them. But just, it does not make any sense. And the promoters have got it all wrong, and the bands need to stop pussyfooting around and say what they think.
I can't see the logic in in booking a band in the first place if you're not going to allow them to play a gig the week before or the following week, unless of course that gig is promoted by them, and then it just locks them in even further out. It's the biggest load of shit I've ever come across in my life, and I just can't see why bands are allowing it to happen to themselves. It's ridiculous.
Well, from a band point of view, it makes even less sense than from a business point of view, because you're just restricting yourselves to one gig in 3 weeks, which is pretty much one gig a month.
I understand that there's not a lot of gigs out there and the bands are going to take it when it's offered to them, but the promoter that we're talking about is just harming the bands rather than doing any good for them.
And it's also a case of, I was thinking about this before we sit down to film this, if the bands would realise that the only reason why the promoters have this power is because you allow them to take it from you.
Yeah.
If the bands just boycott, then the promotion companies will have to stand up and take notice. And if the venues, for fuck's sakes, if any of them are watching this, seriously, stop using these companies. If you want to help the scene, if you want to get people through the door, get behind it and help it out and allow bands to book themselves, or use independent management and stuff, not management firms that are doing this kind of crap. It's just not going to help anyone.
No, I just can't believe that it actually goes on. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're not in a band or anything like that,
No.
so it's not really affecting us, but
No, we're doing our own thing.
the
Whatever.
fact that we're seeing bands that we actually like get walked on, we don't like that at all. So
Well, someone's got to stand up and say something, and if we're one among a few at the moment, I don't think the masses are crying out at the moment, but the whole point is that if everyone just works together, we can change things in, I don't know about the whole Australian scene, but definitely the Melbourne scene. I mean, it's ridiculous that this is going on and people are getting away with it.
it has to change.
Yeah.
Something has to change. You can't go on like this. It's only hurting the scene rather than building it and helping it. So.
And all anyone wants to do these days is get the gigs, get out there and promote themselves, promote their product and whatever else have you. It's kind of pointless to be counterproductive and working against each other and all this stuff when you can all work together so much better if you just wake up and see that.
Yeah.
And don't let these promoting companies have so much power over you, because they don't deserve it. It's the way of the music industry in general at the moment, because the record labels have to understand too that these days they don't have as much power as they used to.
Yeah.
With the advent of iTunes and the internet and the exposure you can get, i.e. what we're doing as well, you don't need to sign the record deals that make you sign your life away and give all the rights to them and stuff. You can sign distribution contracts instead. Look at things, read the contracts, negotiate. For the bands that are out there doing it, get your road following going so you get butts in the door, and then you're going to get more clout with the companies to get the terms you want. These are just our opinions. You can, I hope and expect that you guys will throw some shit back at us, because we're open for debate on this one for sure. And this is something that is very close to our hearts, I guess, in a lot of ways, because we don't get paid to do what we do. We do the shit because we love it.
Yeah.
And to see the scene suffering at its own doing.
I'm sick of going to gigs and finding that the only people in the crowds are the bands, and the band's families as well. There's just, as I've said, something's got to change. I've got a feeling that something is going to change very shortly. I've got a feeling there's a bit of something building up. And,
An uprising, so to speak. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But until that happens, it's just going to continue the way it is, and it's not cool.
No, not ideal. And I don't really know. We've been talking about this for a few days, and last night about 3 in the morning we were going nuts. Forgive me, I'm not functioning on about 3 hours sleep currently, but it just needs to change. As we've read it, but the industry itself is flogging dead horses. You can't have, no disrespect to those that have been there, done it, and are getting their gigs and that, but the whole purpose of a support act, in my opinion, is to build up an up-and-comer, not to give to someone who's regularly doing gigs and stuff anyway. The opening support act should be for a young, up-and-coming band that need a shot. And the industry needs to understand that if if you don't build these bands from the ground up, give them grassroots following, give them exposure with these bigger acts, you're never going to have anything, because all these big bands that are coming out here now are getting to the ends of their careers.
Yeah.
They're not starting, they're not spring chickens anymore, and the Australian music scene has been crying out for someone to take the bloody throne.
Yeah, this is not disrespect to Doc Neeson or Rose Tattoo, who just did the ZZ Top Tour, or the Screaming Jets, or any of these bands.
We love them all as well.
Time.
Yeah.
I've been into the Angels and Rose Tattoo for as long as I can remember. I've still got them on vinyl and everything like that. But they've had their time. It's time to put them out to pasture, so to speak, and let some of the new bands step up.
Or at the very least, use them to build up other bands. It's a case of this thing has to feed itself. It can't be allowed to become an old boys club, which is more or less doing at the moment, and everyone's just getting whatever they want from the established acts, but they're all going to retire. They're all going to die. There has to be new blood coming through, so give us some thoughts. We've got a whole bunch of ideas that we're going to work on and see what we can make happen, but seriously, if anyone wants to get involved and try and change the scene, hit us up, contact us. We're not going to put any links up. If you're watching the video, you know how to find us, but seriously, just let's make a change to the scene, because this shit has just got to stop.
Absolutely.
That's
about our rant for the day, I think.
Yeah, I think we're about done. So this is a little 12-minute thing. As we said, this is not the Hard Rock Show. This is just Shayne and Andrew having a rant, because this is us as we are
in the garage.
Yeah, this is what we do for fun. This is our day-to-day existence. We get together most days and just drink, smoke, listen to music, and plan what we're doing next. So this is our backstage. Enjoy the view. It's probably about the only time you're going to see it.
So give us some comments on this video and that, and let us know what you think, whether you agree, whether you disagree, and
it's all good. We'll fire back.
Take it all on board, and So stay tuned for our next episode of the real Hard Rock Show.
Coming up very shortly in the next 24 hours. So are we going to sign off as usual, or are we just going to?
I'll just sign off by going. Cheers.
Enjoy, folks. This has been us. Have a good night.